Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, who the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collabs drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. We have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy, Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLLC fam. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies. You can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just store a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. And one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Yeah, it's cool. People, that's because you come from punk rock. Like,
That's what
the
it is.
DIY should make your merch, because I don't think that many comedians have merchandise like that.
No. And people are like, you're selling your own merch? Don't you have it? And I'm like, no, man, DIY till I die. Fuck you.
I've never seen like Dave Chappelle merch. I've never really seen comedians merch. Chappelle's got merch. You got merch.
It's always corny.
Yeah.
Like comedian merch is always corny.
Yeah.
It's got their like
catchphrase or something.
Yeah,
right?
catchphrase or some like Instagram handle. Like there's this comic who, if
we're
you're
recording now, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's okay.
Bleep this out. But there's this comic named Ryan Reese that has merch. It's a Reese's cup, and it goes like Reese's Pieces or whatever. And it's like, dude, fuck you. But it's cool, dude. I get my merch from Jimmy Edgman in Detroit, Edgman Printing, and they do a ton of band merch. They do a ton of Cold as Life merch. Detroit hardcore scene is like really great right now.
Yeah, man, it really is. Tied Down,
dude. Tied Down is an amazing. Actually, dude, my Hatebreed rip with my name on the front with the flames has a picture of me stage diving at Terror at Tied Down this year.
Oh wow!
And it's like an old hardcore shirt, and the quote around it is "Call me a Warzone song because I'm about to bust."
That's incredible. I want that shirt.
Yeah.
I think Tied Down brought a lot of attention back to Detroit for sure.
Dude, yes. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's great. It's such a well-run festival. It's such a good hang, good time. The bands are great, dude. You know, like my friend's band Exit Strategy is playing this year. They're like opening it up. And it's so good to open a fest with like a strong band. Like Desmadre opened Sound and Fury this year.
Yeah.
And it was like, is this the last how is this fest going to get, how is it going to maintain this level of energy and insanity right now?
Yeah,
you know?
Sound and Fury's great too.
Yeah.
I love the comedy merging with hardcore. In a sense, like everybody that came out last night, all the homies, all from different hardcore bands.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really great. And it's neat because like I feel like you know, all the bands I listen to, you know, I came up in hardcore punk rock and ska, and so like that music is like so important to me, and that's what I don't listen to podcasts, I don't listen to stand-ups, I listen to music.
Of course.
And it's funny because like I'll listen to, you know, bands to pump myself up, and then they're like listening to my podcast or me like in the van on the way to a gig, and it's like really neat, you know?
It's awesome.
And it's really, really cool what's going on.
Is there a lot of comedians besides you and Chappelle Lacey who are like hardcore kids?
No.
I know, it seems like it's just you two, because Chappelle listens to the hardcore and goes to shows, doesn't really hang out with comedians. He's just like more like a punk rock kid like you, and he's not really in the mix, like hanging out, doing things like that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we went to the Comedy Store party last night, and I walked in, and I was like immediately uncomfortable.
Really?
And I was like, I gotta get out of here.
You're like the black sheep of comics.
I guess, yeah. I know. I gotta get that Minor Threat tattoo.
Oh,
I get
yeah. You're almost like black sheep of the comedy world because you're not a typical comic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're a hardcore kid, and I don't know, you still go to shows. It's like, it's interesting.
Yeah. And you know, I'm so grateful. I you know, my schedule is so wild. I miss out on a ton of stuff. And it's cool though, because when I'm in towns, I'll meet up with my buddies. Yeah. Like this week, I'm gonna see Haywire on Thursday, and I become real close with Austin, and so we're meeting up Wednesday. So like, it's cool when I'm in a town to link up with other guys when they're touring in that town, you know. And then with comics, that never really happens because, you know, we're the act in that town that weekend, you know. So like it's very hard going up against someone else, you know, in the same town. But
is it hard, like bands playing against each other? Like if there's two hardcore shows in one night, is that the same as you going against another comedian in the same town?
I don't know. I mean, it's like,
you have your own fan base.
Yeah, but a lot of us share fan bases, and you know, like when like if I'm playing like Houston and someone's in like Dallas, like we'll try to make plans of like, let's meet in the middle, and that just never happens, you know. But comics usually kind of take over the town they're playing, because you try to, you know, corner that market and have everyone in that town go see you. But like, I was in oh man, where was I? Toronto. And I was up against Sebastian Maniscalco, Lisa Traeger, Taylor Swift was in town, Brian Regan, and I still sold out. And that was like so cool because a lot of my crowd is not like the typical comedy fan, you know, like during the meet and greet before and after the show, I'm ripping cigs. Kids are coming up, and we're talking about tattoos. We're talking about what records we're listening to.
Insane,
and I'd
man.
much rather talk about that than like, did you hear what happened on this podcast? Or what do you think of this guy's special? I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, like, who are you listening to? What's happening? Have you heard the new Suffer No Fools? It fucking rips, you know?
I think that's how with Chappelle too. Like if you wear like a band shirt and it go viral, like you wore a Turnstile shirt and that clip went crazy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like, who is this comedian wearing a Turnstile shirt? I like Turnstile. Then they go check him out. And find out his upbringing. Yeah. Same with you though.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's really cool. And Chappelle and I really like us finding each other. So especially because we live like. We're the inverse of each other. He's black, I'm white. He's West Coast, I'm East Coast. Yeah. You know, he's in a hardcore band. I want to be in one, you know.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet for you.
I sang on a track for this great band from United Kingdom called Going Off.
Okay.
I sang on their track called Bound by Blood. And I loved it, and it was so fun. And I recorded the vocals in a hotel room in Minneapolis.
Oh, that's sick.
And I sent it over, and the track is sick, man. I want to do it again. But I was telling, me and Chappelle were hanging out last night, and I was like, dude, you, like, him, like, I want to sing in a band because that has no bearing on my career, which is how I am surviving. So, like, I need a creative outlet that is fun, that is not... I'm not
business. It's not.
I'm not making it to get anything.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like I love stand up. I love creating. I love the projects I'm working on, but they're all to serve something that's obviously, and you know, at the end of the day, it does put money in my pocket. You know, this is how I live, but I want a creative project that I can just like enjoy and create something and put it out there.
Different outlet.
But I told him, I'm like, dude, I watch you, man. I'm like, the way I smoke cigarettes, after after the intro to the song, I would be like, you know,
you winded and shit.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
But have you been in the podcast? Have you been? Let's see, episode 226 was the only time you've been on here. I don't know, that was a year or two ago.
Yeah,
maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
But so much has happened for you since then.
Yeah.
Your podcast is crushing. Your stand-up's crushing. You released a special this summer. Came out, correct?
Yeah, it came out.
Wild, Happy, and Free.
Wild, Happy, and Free out on YouTube.
So it's so much. And you sang with us since then?
Yeah.
In New York.
Oh, yeah, that was the coolest.
Because I promised you on the last episode that you could come do it, and you came and did it.
Yes, and what you didn't
too,
see
man.
on the episode is that I cried in the car, and I was like, this is the coolest, you know?
You were crying in the car?
Yeah, I
you killed it that night, though. You was perfectly on time. That's really hard. Like, Scott Vogel's fucked it up. A lot of people fucked up the timing and Guilty because you have to follow Max or the drummer.
Yeah.
And then get into, it's like a rhythm.
Yep.
And you nailed it, though, man.
Thank you, man.
Fucking nailed. Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many times I was like screaming alone in my apartment, like figuring it out, the timing, and it was
a great
awesome,
moment,
man.
dude.
It was the coolest. Thank you so much for letting me do that, man. That was really fun.
That was a moment.
Yeah.
Also, your podcast is crushing. How often do you film that?
Oh man, me and Jordan Jensen, my best friend. She's another comic. She's so fucking funny, man.
Incredible.
We have so much fun, and it comes out every Wednesday on YouTube, and our Patreon. We put out a bonus episode every Monday, and we try to record Tuesday nights. We'll record a regular and a Patreon, but with our stand-up touring schedules, it's really tough, and we don't bank episodes.
Damn.
So like a lot of podcasts will bang out like 5 episodes in like a day or a week because they can't record whatever, but we don't do that because I feel like her and I, for better or worse, are so scatterbrained that like if we sat and banked 5 episodes, we would just repeat. And then like we're so, for better or worse, again, like authentically like truthful, even if we like aren't happy, we'll be like, I don't want to do this. And then like one of us will get up and walk out, you know? So for us, it's just best to record, and when she's not there, I record without her. When I'm not there, she records without me. Yeah. And it just works. And, you know, we're recording this because we're in LA together this week.
Okay.
And we're recording at the Comedy Store tomorrow. We're doing 2 episodes. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's the best, man. We have so much fun.
That was fun last time we did the same thing, and Chappelle was there and Jason Ellis was there.
Yeah, we did the live episode at the Improv. Yeah. Yeah,
really
it's so cool, man. Every time I play the Improv, more and more lunatics come out, and it's fun, man. Like hanging out in the green room, like you're there, Chappelle, and like Section Hate's there, and we're all like hanging out, having fun, and it's like the coolest, man. I enjoy that, and I told my manager, I was like, yo, because they were like,
last night, he was really nice.
Yeah, he's the best, dude.
Yeah.
I've known him since I was in a ska band. His sister used to take him to my shows.
Wow.
And so I've known him for years, and I try to keep everyone in my like kind of circle as people I've known for a while. I'm kind of reluctant, especially like in, the business aspect.
Yeah.
If like my agent is the best, dude. The first time we hung out after I signed with the agency, he gave me a Henry Rollins Shepard Fairey signed print. And I have that in my basement because he reps Henry Rollins, and that was like a huge selling point to me.
Oh, dude.
And he's not like a regular agent guy. I hate all that stuff. And I told my manager last night, I was like, anyone that has never really like met me before that's not with a friend of mine, do not let them in to the green room. I do not want to meet any suits or like anybody before the show.
Yeah.
I just hate that. I would much rather have it as like a fun hang with friends.
Especially in Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
So things coming up for you as far as putting your special out, was that been a game changer for you? Is that like, and I know it was a lot, is that stressful leading up to making your first special?
Bro, it was, it was.
And where'd you film that at?
I filmed it at the Cutting Room in New York City.
Okay.
Which is a classic venue on 32nd and Park. Joan Rivers used to have a show there. It's like an old theater. And, doing that was such an undertaking because it was all self-funded. I did everything myself.
Wow.
And, no one's going to give anything to me, so I got to go out and take it. And it's like, I'm going to be honest. For the next big one, please give it to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
But
but that's like your punk roots, your DIY. I mean, it's made it happen, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, and like
I feel like Netflix. Sorry, Netflix is like the dream for people. Maybe it's something else, like get my special, but
right.
But until that, you have to like work your way up. I know that like Bill Burr, somebody had did a special like for 12, 13 years, did the first one or something. One of these comedians waited a really long time to do their special because it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and also like I wanted to do it my way, and I had a couple people in my ear that are like, look, it's going to cost this much to do this. And I go, you know what, man, I'll fucking go in the poorhouse and take some shitball gigs at,
investing in yourself though.
Yeah. And so I, and thankfully, everything's been going great since, and I picked up so much more road work, and I've like kind of like been notching up. So I've paid it off, which is amazing.
Awesome, man.
And, but I will say, it was cool though to have a vision, and again, like surround myself with people that one of the guys I started comedy with in Philly, he was a set designer, production designer.
Awesome,
he
man.
helped me out, and like a bunch of people really came in and took pay cuts to like help me out, and I'll never forget that. The crew was so important with that, and just seeing my vision of it, of like what I wanted, especially was like the intro. Like I did a shot-by-shot remake of the Ghostbusters First Call.
So cool.
And I got to put friends' bands in. I put my ska band in the intro. I used a King 9 track, Art of War, for when I go out on stage. My closing song is Myopic by Drug Church. And like, It was cool that Dan and Pat and these guys like let me use their music,
Yeah.
And then
tricky, yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, I stage dived. I got carried out, and so I had 3 friends throw me out of the venue onto a pile of trash, and then Dave Attell pops up and he goes, "Welcome to YouTube," and that was like the outro, and it was so serendipitous because I was in the outro of his special, and I also introduced him in his special.
That's awesome,
and he's become like a father figure to me throughout the years, and so it was I really wanted it to be like a family affair. Jordan opened the shows, and it was insane because we went to the venue and we said, hey, because we shot a live podcast there. We had to be there for an hour ahead of time, set up camera, sound, whatever. So we go, hey, I'd love to shoot my first stand-up special here. And they were like, we love you, you did the live podcast here, let's do it. Sunday, December 3rd, 2 shows, 7 and 9:30. Amazing, right? And then December 3rd is when we were filming it on Thanksgiving. It had been sold out for like a month.
Okay.
Thank God.
It's awesome.
I still to this day have a fear that I'm going to show up and no one's going to be there. And the people that are there have signs that are like, it's all been a lie. You suck, you know? And so, dude, Thanksgiving Day, we see on the schedule, it says Daddy Cool the Band, an all Korean dad cover band, 6 o'clock or no, 4 o'clock on Sunday. And we're like, what? And we come to find out, they thought that we were shooting the special the same way we did as a podcast. We'd be in there an hour before. They didn't know that it was like an HBO level, Netflix level production of like, we need to come in. We're moving everything. We need to come in at, 7 a.m., this and that. And it was down to the wire of, I literally had to call Daddy the Cool Band, which is a all Korean cover band full of dads that didn't know how to play any music until 10 years ago. And they learned music. So each year they get better and better, right? They didn't have any tickets sold. The guy goes, this guy does it every year. His name's Johnny Lee. He does it every year. This is the date. We didn't know you had to come in for production. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? So I had to call this guy, Mr. Lee, who's a dentist, and I had to be like, hey, man, artist to artist, like, can you please move the show earlier? Can you please move the gig? And he's like, no, we have people flying in from Korea. It's not going to happen.
Oh, so my God, dude.
We are like, dude, it was straight up panic mode. There was so much yelling. I'm like, I'll just go in there and grip the guy up and fucking, with the bail system in New York. I've been to jail. I know I'll be out in the morning. I'll just fucking headbutt this guy, like losing my mind. Dude, I'll never forget. I'm at my buddy's place. I just done a podcast with Stav and we were about to do another, and my manager called. I go, hold on, I'll be back. And Stav said he just heard me in his hallway, like, what the fuck is happening? Just like yelling. He has a video of me stomping in front of his apartment in Queens, yelling on the phone, like, this can't be happening. No, I'm just like losing my mind. I'm like, everything I've worked for is going away because of Daddy Cool the Band.
And the club couldn't do anything, really?
No, they're like, our hands are tied. So what we worked out was their show was at like 4. They had to be done by 5:15. Everybody had to be out by 6. And they couldn't move any of the chairs, everything. So we got in at 7, set everything up.
Dude.
They had to work around us. Dude, day of, still 4 tickets sold. And we're like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And Johnny Lee is like, don't worry, people show up. I'm like, is this Field of Dreams? Like, if you build it, they will come. What are you talking about? So then,
were you there early enough to see that band or see what the fuck's going to happen?
Well, they're all trying to tell me, like, you need to not be involved. You need to relax. It's your big. I'm like, dude, no, I need to be involved because otherwise I'm going to be at home losing my fucking mind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come. I'll bring everyone coffee. We'll fucking figure it. So I'm there. And, and also, like, I want the final say.
Totally.
It's my vision. So I'm like, no, move this, papa. And day of, we decorated the stage with everything from the venue. So like, I was so proud of that too, that the venue was everything. I really incorporated the venue, this historic New York venue, into what it was. And dude, I get there, and right when Daddy Cool gets there, that's when we all were like, okay, time for us to go. Like, we made sure that they didn't move anything. I leave, go home, shower, smoke 10 packs of cigarettes, come back. It was wall to wall packed, sold out, with so many Koreans singing. Like, the guys are noodling on stage like fish. It was like nothing I've ever seen before.
Oh my God.
And then people started lining up, coming early, and we had to send out an email. We're pushing doors back, half hour each show, blah, blah. People were showing up, and then they're telling me later, they're like, I just thought you had a really large Korean fan base. They didn't know what was going on. And then, dude,
I can't believe it.
By the grace of God, by, praise Allah, this fucking thing worked out. They got out of there. Well, I mean, we kind of had to bully them, like, hey, chop, let's go. Come on, go outside.
Yeah.
And it went off without a hitch.
Holy shit!
But it was down to the wire, man. It was crazy.
Were you shocked when you came back and the place was packed?
Bro, jaw on the floor. Day of, 4
Sold?
tickets sold. Don't worry, they'll come. And out of respect to you and your listeners, I'm not doing the accent.
Okay.
But don't worry, I've done it. It's happening in my head. And dude,
crazy.
it was wild.
Damn.
It was fucking wild. And it worked out. And because the venue, they told us, they go, if we knew it was a like Netflix level production, I had like 6 cams, all this crazy shit. They were like, we wouldn't open the doors for less than $12K. But because they thought that we were going in with just 1 camera, whatever, we got a door deal.
Damn.
So I ended up making money.
Holy
on the
shit.
gig.
Yeah, because you have to rent out the venue.
So, dude, it worked so well. It was the best. Everything's coming up fine.
So you made some money from the door. Yeah, that's
crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Man. That's cool that they weren't like dicks about it too at the last minute.
And dude, I gotta really give them credit, man. We did butt heads for a minute because it was just confusing. But man, Steve at the cutting room, they were so good to me. And also like in the intro, I wanted to give them shine.
Yeah.
Like with the first shot of the car pulling up at the Cedric Hotel in Ghostbusters, you see Cedric Hotel. So we did that with like the cutting room and everything. So it was like everything I wanted happened, and it's been, people have really been digging it, and it was really important to me. And the hour you saw last night is my new one, and so
it was incredible last night. I want to say, like, so all the ones, once you do a special, you retire those ones, right? Those kind of retired from being live.
Well, some people do, some people don't, but I had the advantage of recording in December, and I didn't hit the road again until January.
Okay.
So I took some time off. I went on tour with Angel Dust. I just hopped in the bus and just like was a groupie for like a week.
That's
like,
incredible.
I'm buds with all them. They're the best. And so it was so
man.
fun hanging out and like getting my mind off of everything.
Yep.
And I came back, took like a week or 2 off, and I just hit the road. And I told myself, I said, dude, do not do any jokes from the special.
Okay.
Even if you got nothing, talk out loud about how you have nothing and just find it. And so I've really been working this past year on being like very very stream of consciousness and just allowing to be in that moment and going where it goes and trusting that I have things to say and talk about and just basically backdooring my way into being funny, jumping out of a plane without a parachute and trusting that, you're going to find it. You're going to find a way to land. Yeah.
Last night was incredible. Your flow, your timing, the energy, obviously it was incredible. And like sometimes people they look at their phone for something if they're trying new things. That obviously been doing this for a while, but like, I just don't know how you remember all that shit. Like, it's just the segues, the crowd work was really fucking great, man.
Thank you, man.
My wife was dying. Totally. We were dying.
Oh, yeah, cool.
It was wonderful, man.
Cool.
It's cool you remember my wife from sewing a shirt to at the Trocadero.
Of course, man. Yeah. Like 1998, Trocadero. I bought a shirt, and she was like, kind of like... quick with people, like hurry up, and so I told her, I said, I ordered a shirt from you like the soup Nazi. I just put my money up and I was like, medium green 3-leaf clover, thank you. And then I just like moved to the side. Dude. And then I went back, was like, can I please have the belt?
Oh my God, we had belts back then.
Yeah.
The Troc was such a great place, man.
Such a good venue.
It's completely gone now, right? Or something that's wiped out.
Yeah.
God, there was so many great memories there too, man. Crazy shows.
Yeah, that was the coolest when you guys shouted out the Philly Troc show.
Oh, yeah,
that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I've been there.
I just saw your ring cam for your cats. It was really fucking cute, man. Also, I think one of your cats eating straws or something now.
Oh,
what I heard.
Bro, he's a little guy, Glenn Danzig. My new cat, Glenn Danzig.
He's got the tattoo too. It's a nice tat.
His name Glenn tattooed on
Both
me. I got
cats.
Samson on my other arm, But
Samson, Glenn.
Dude, this guy, he's nuts, man. And when I first got him, I had to eat standing up in my living room because he would just like flying squirrel attack my plates and everything. So, but he's gotten a lot better. But now he just like loves straws.
Yeah.
And dude, I had him within a week. And he ate a rubber band. I had to take him to the emergency vet.
That's
Thank God
scary.
my cousin Sherry was there. She came with me. Yeah. We had to like make him puke. I'm like, dude, is nothing sacred?
You put your hand in his mouth and shit?
I caught him throwing up. I'm like, what the fuck? I found a little bit of a rubber band. I'm like, all right, we're going to the hospital. So I took him to the vet, and thank God I have pet insurance for my fucking cats.
You have pet insurance?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it's already paid off, man. Filing claims, you get some money back. It's
wow, that's crazy.
Pretty
Dude,
wild.
medical insurance is fucking such a
Well, it's crazy because my cat, I took him to the vet. And, you know, and when I got his shots and everything, immediately filed claim. Immediately, I'm so up to date and everything with the cats. Meanwhile, I get T-boned in an intersection in Fort Myers, Florida over the summer.
Great.
I end up in the hospital. True story. I'm so banged up. I just filed a claim like a month ago. Like I just pussyfooted around doing it for me, but for my cats, I'm like, we're going to the hospital. I'm taking care. I'm filing the claim.
Kids.
Like, oh yeah.
Damn,
totally.
Insurance is such a fucking scam, bro.
Bro, it's such a scam.
I just got insurance fine. It's been months, man. Just jumping through hoops trying to. I'd rather pay cash at some places, man, to get it done quick instead of waiting and shit.
Well, it's just like, dude, this hospital stay fucking killed me, and I got hit by a car on my bicycle in 2020. I separated my sacrum from my pelvis. Yeah. And you got the
PRP therapy too, right?
I got PRP for my shoulder and my back from this new accident, and it didn't really take, and so now I'm
stem cells.
Got to do stem cells. But
Jason knows about that.
I am like I just had like a banner weekend, and I was in Denver. It was amazing.
A couple crazy nights.
I had 2 threesomes with the same girl. So someone said you had a threesome twice, which I was like, don't take this away from me. And then the next day, I am putting my luggage on a rack, and I pull my back. A new part of my back hurts. I went to the airport.
A new part of my back?
I had such bad diarrhea that it splashed on my back. I had to wash my clothes in the sink in the Denver airport bathroom. And then meanwhile, I'm like, I used to be somebody 24 hours ago. You know, these 2 girls are blowing me at once. I'm eating a slice of pizza. I'm like, I think I'm a king. And then the next day, it's like, oh, here's some humble pie, baby.
What are those chews you mentioned too? You take these chews.
Oh, Blue Chew.
That's some real shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it's like the new.
It gives you a hard on in like 10 minutes. And if you date a trans girl, you split it in half and you have her a little race.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long does it last?
I don't know, like an hour maybe. But it makes you fuck like a porn star.
That's good enough. An hour.
Yeah.
Do you have stomach issues a lot?
Always.
You take Imodium AD?
Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah.
I have stomach issues too.
I mean, dude, I'm on probiotics. I'm on this. I'm on that. It's my fault.
Is it nerves? Is it diet?
It's diet. It's nerves. All I do is drink coffee and smoke cigarettes, you know.
You eat, you eat food?
Barely. You know, like some days I forget to eat until my sets
at night. Because coffee's a
whoa.
diuretic first and foremost, but also it dehydrates you and then suppresses your appetite.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you seem to be in good shape, though.
I try to be, but that's the thing, man. Every time I make progress at the gym, I end up getting hit by a car. You know, so I'm like, every time something good happens, I'm like, I can't go to the gym for another 5 months. You know?
But you sleep good at night?
No.
Me and my wife we were talking last night. Like, me and my wife actually walked home from last night because we were going to we walked like 4 miles home. It was nice.
Oh, cool.
But she was just like, he has so much energy. I'm like, yeah, he fucking drinks Red Bull and coffee all day.
Yeah.
How do you shut off at night?
I don't.
You just don't go and then you just crash?
Oh, I do crash. Totally.
Yeah.
What happens is, so I sleep in shifts. So I can't get a good night's sleep. I sleep in shifts. And even without the coffee or whatever, it's still a thing of like, you know, my mind is always going.
Yeah,
and
you're an artist, man.
You know, so I usually I'll sleep in shifts and I'll like wake up, do a bunch of stuff, and then I'll take a nap. I'll get a bunch of other stuff done, and then I'll take a nap.
Nap during the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like usually I'll do all my shit between, you know, if I'm doing radio, I got to be there like 8 a.m. and then like I'll kind of go until like 1 or 2. And then I'll take maybe like an hour, 2-hour nap, and then start the next shift of my night with like either my podcast or going out and doing sets. And then when I'm on the road, you know, I go out, do my day. I like to do like adventures when I'm on the road, you know, because otherwise I'll just, you know, die and rot in my hotel room, you know.
Go to coffee shops, walk
alone.
Around,
Yeah. So like, do my opener this weekend in Denver was his name's Zach Townsend. He's so funny. He's going to open for me a bunch more, but we had so much fun. We went to like record shop. I always
That's
try to
cool.
go to like a record shop or like, some tattoo spot or just walk around the town. I'll go to AA meetings and,
That's awesome.
And I, try to get out, but then when I'm on the road alone, I really isolate, which isn't good.
Is it depressing? Is it sad about yourself?
Bro, it's so sad and depressing. Are you kidding me?
It's crazy because you're out there to make people laugh and like uplift people's lives, and then you're fucking by yourself. It's crazy, like the mental of what comedians. I don't know. It's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to share your stories with people and inspire people, make people, but then you're like by yourself, like fucking.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah,
crazy.
like couples afterwards, we love you. And I'm like, have fun together tonight, loving each other.
In the hotel, eating pizza.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back.
But you had threesomes 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, but it's not all threesomes and blowjobs, Toby. Sometimes you shit up your back at an airport. You don't have a wife to help you laugh about it.
Is it something you ate? Or just nerves?
No,
you get nervous traveling.
No, I love traveling. I've got it down to a science. I'm really, I do it every weekend, so I've like figured it out. I love never being in one place more than for too long. I'm in New York maybe 3-4 days a week, and then eventually I'm really fortunate because I travel so much that I love it, and then when I don't, it's kind of winding down, and then I get to go back to New York, and then I go, it's good to be back. And then right when I start to be like, I gotta get the fuck out of town, I start traveling again.
It's interesting, man.
So it works, and like, dude, coming out to LA is always a recharge. It's always great, You
like it out here?
So I love it out here, man. I used to be like very angry and would hate it, but I enjoy it. It's just nice. I couldn't live here, but coming out here every once in a while is really nice.
I mean, we talking about last night about New York, so different now too.
Yeah.
And this is everywhere. You mentioned like people like filming things happening and posting them and not helping people. That's the whole country, the whole world. But your part last night, I can really relate to that. It's crazy how that's how society's become. Like everything, I think we're so like desensitized to a lot of things.
Totally.
Because of social media, and I think that we see things on your phone, like people get hit by cars, people falling off cliffs, eaten by animals. So like, swipe.
Did you see that video of that guy that blew his hand off after the Dodgers won the World Series? Everybody's videotaping and nobody's calling the police. Nobody's calling an ambulance.
This shit was fucking crazy.
It's crazy,
bro.
Man. Crazy.
It's
and that's
true,
happening
though.
nonstop. Like there's a video of these two guys fighting on the subway, and the guy gets knocked out, gets hit, on the tracks. Subway, does what it does, and you just hear a woman. It's so classic New York. She's like, "Now I'm gonna be late for work," and it's like, dude, the city's constantly moving, and it's like you either hop on or you'll miss it. And nobody wants to be. Everybody, at the end of the day, everybody truly is just trying to go to work, have a good time, and be left the fuck alone.
I know.
And in the interim, a lot of bad fucking things happen, and they're happening more often than not.
And being filmed always.
Being filmed, and I think that's so disgusting.
I agree,
man. People are afraid to intervene, man.
They are.
And it's like, I'd rather die intervening and knowing that I tried to do something right than just sit and live with the guilt of my whole life of going, man, I watched a guy die and I could have done something I didn't. And I try to live a life to where if that were to happen, I'd be all right with it because I've lived every day as fully and as joyfully as possible.
Totally.
And when I do have my downturns, which I have many, I got to be better at communicating that with people. But I do feel like, I fall into this trap of, being, I'm positive and I'm happy and, it's not sustainable. But I feel like I don't let people see the other side unless I'm on stage and I can talk about it in a way of
in a funny way. But
when it comes to like the reality of it, I very much slink away and I don't let people see that side of myself unless I'm, talking about it on stage in a funny way.
I feel like a lot of comedians like that. They've had some sort of crazy dark, because we know, your story from the first time in the podcast. It's been through a lot of things in life, and this is how you're like flipping a negative to a positive and expressing yourself. I feel like a lot of comedians have been through a lot of shit, it seems.
Yeah.
There's a lot of darkness in there.
Same with musicians.
About Robin Williams and shit. Like you think of somebody who's like the most funniest person in the world, and he's made so many people laugh and changed lives, and then when he passed, I was like, what the fuck? Like, he's so funny. He's so happy, but it's not true, man. It's like,
well, dude,
we're humans.
He didn't kill himself. That was the CIA because he was involved. He ended up being on Epstein's. No, I'm kidding. Could you imagine? I just turned the podcast to a totally different thing.
But when that happened, I was so heartbroken. I was like,
bro, I cried, and my girlfriend at the time got mad at me because I never cried over her. And I was like, but you weren't in Aladdin.
Morky Mindy?
Yeah.
That was, but just seeing that, I'm like, fuck, these dudes are human, man. They fucking really going through it. Like,
totally. But I mean, dude, it's the same with music.
I
It's
know,
the same
I know.
It's the same thing that I gravitated towards, hardcore and punk rock of like people talking about like very real things, And I think that's why I have really like, I don't know. I feel forever indebted to hardcore music and the ethos and kind of, what I learned from it. And it's funny because, I mentioned ska, and I'll always love ska for better or worse. I have a ska ring, I was in a ska band. Ska is so had such a
impact on you.
Impact on me, right? But I will say, I was very much embraced by the ska community for a minute because, I talk openly and unabashedly about loving ska.
Yeah.
And it's this weird thing where I feel like this new wave of ska has turned into like an all-inclusive resort of like everybody is welcome to a fault. Like I think gatekeeping is important in a certain aspect, like if you come into a community and you're welcomed, great. But then if you try to change that community, you are wrong. You need to adapt to the existing environment that you're coming into, I feel.
Yeah, know the history.
Yes, exactly. And so like when you come into, hardcore and you're like, wait, it's violent? This isn't right. It's like, well, fucking leave,
Or just different bands that have logos from the 80s that may not be cool anymore. Like people
fucking take a step back and realize that a world existed before you entered it,
Yeah.
And so in the ska world, man, it's very like I like jokes and I make different jokes, and I was supposed to MC a ska festival down in Virginia.
Yeah.
And I made a trans joke and I got fired from the festival. All these people wrote articles. People found out where I lived. I was getting death threats from the inclusive ska queer community.
Wow.
And these bands that rocked with me turned their back on me and were like, hey, you need to publicly apologize. I can't be associated with you. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, aren't you a part of like, weren't you in Link 80? Like, what are you talking about? Like, fuck you,
Holy shit.
And then like for a while I was getting tons of shit and I never addressed it. I never fucking, I doubled down, but I didn't apologize. And with all this stuff, you can't give in and apologize, even though I never ever want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm making jokes, and if you get hurt from it, then that's kind of on you, because my intent is to ultimately bring joy. And I feel like a lot of that's why I love hardcore, because one of the main tenets is you don't turn your back on your friends. You have each other's backs no matter what. And I feel like I've always just gravitated so much more towards hardcore and the people involved, because we're all fucking lunatics.
Absolutely.
And we all have dark senses of humor because we've actually been through legitimate things in life, you know, like coming
before
from
the internet.
Yeah. Coming from violent homes, coming from abuse, you know how many like dudes covered in tattoos with like, basically like a sign on their head that was like, just got out of prison. And they're like, dude, thank you for talking about being molested in a funny way. You're like, thank you for being open about being with trans women. I'm the same way. And whereas in the ska community, some like fat blue-haired girl that looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters is like, you're being ableist by having a joke about blind people. I'm like, shut up, you dumb bitch. I'm sorry, but
it's all good. Did those bands come forward now? Like they're cool with you now? Is it?
I don't give a shit.
But I'm saying
some of them.
It was a while ago.
Like,
it's like,
dude, it was like jarring. Like I felt really betrayed. I
feel like trying to cancel.
And I got fired from this thing. And then it's funny because, and look, man, hey, I got no ill will. If they want to disassociate from me, I get it. It's not like I'm some like. And I'll never be one of these like, you can't say anything anymore. You can. You just got to be fucking funny. And if people don't like it, then guess what? They're allowed to not fucking like it. So I'll just
100%.
pivot and make the thing funnier so it gets past the people that don't find it funny. So
True.
I'll never be like, dude, the Daily Caller or whatever contacted me and was like, do you want to talk about how you got canned? And I'm like, you can straight up go fuck yourself. Any fucking mark that's like, cancel call, you can't, it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. People are allowed to complain. Just my thing is like, don't fucking listen.
Yeah.
You know, all this shit, it's the buzzing of flies. It's
So
not
true.
real.
It's
You
not
can
real,
make
dude.
it real online by turning it into your reality, but at the end of the day, if you ignore it, it goes away and they're on to the next fucking, you know, outrage du jour, you know?
Yeah, it's like a little gang mentality. Rat pack people for like 24 hours. You don't respond, they kind of go away. But for you, I saw your show last night. I'm sure nobody's ever came up to you and said something to your face about anything.
No,
From the
it's
sky, none of that
always
shit.
online.
It's never
you
gonna
know?
happen,
Some
dude.
guy DM'd me the other night. And
Online is such
it's so, dude, and like I gotta stay away from the comments. I gotta not check DMs.
You don't do that? No, you don't do that?
But I used to. I'm working really hard at not doing it.
It's hard.
But some guy DM'd me and was like, you were talking about being with men. It's so gross. Fuck you. I spent my money and blah. And so I was like, I'm so glad I took your money, and I can't wait till your kids turn into everything you hate, you dumb bitch. Suck my sack from the back, you fucking
You wrote
piece
back?
of
You
shit.
wrote to him?
Yeah.
It felt good, right?
For a minute. And then I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, because
You
then it's
know?
taking up your time. Then he wins. Then he gets to
Yeah.
respond. Oh, he wrote back
But then
to
I
me.
ended it with Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis. So I was like, all right, I've done my part. You know?
Fa-fa-fooey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they want your attention. They're never going to say nothing to your face. It's all
Mhm.
online. It's not
Mhm.
reality. It's a necessary evil we have
Yeah.
to do to promote ourselves. Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's such a weird negative fucking. I feel like the internet has magnified the pandemic, politics, division. It just made everything so fucking worse, man.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that even happened the past couple of years. What would happen? We had like no Instagram for a whole week. People lose
I mean,
their
dude,
minds,
it would
bro.
be a fucking dream. If
Yeah,
we could
man.
all just throw our phones in the river, that'd be amazing.
But how we promote ourselves? That's the thing.
I don't know. I mean, like, it's, you know, how'd they do it beforehand?
Exactly.
You know?
Flyers going fucking
Yeah.
word of mouth, all
Yeah.
that shit.
I mean, that's what's so
It's a
cool
beautiful
about
time, dude.
Siv's book is him talking about like starting on the East Coast, going to
Yep.
the West Coast, and by the time they get to the West Coast with Youth of Today, they are packed out. Kids are calling each other. You got to see this band,
So
and like
cool.
I love that.
Calling on
you
the
know?
phone. Yeah. Back then.
And I love that, and that's what's kind of cool too. Is like, you know, I really relate to that because, you know, I play these towns, and each set I do is different, and I, you know, like people come out on a Thursday night, and then they'll bring new friends on a Saturday night. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, let's go.
I saw this
you
guy
know?
last night. Same thing as going to a show. You're right, dude.
Yeah, and like kids will wear like band shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll show up to my shows alone, and then they'll leave and be buds. They'll come in the meet and greet line and be like, dude, we just met at your show, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome.
That's amazing.
I love it, you know?
It's like Swifties.
yeah.
It's like that community of
Exactly
people.
like Swifties, Toby, you fucking idiot. What are you talking about? Yeah. I'm the Swifties of
Well, I just heard,
Ian
I
Swifty.
heard that young kids are all connected through Taylor Swift.
Are
and
they?
they don't know each other. They're all diverse, and they meet and
Really?
they swap out these wristbands to each other.
Is that
And
true?
that's how kids become friends. Yeah, it's a whole
No way.
It's a whole community.
Oh, dude, that's
so all my
awesome.
friends' daughters have made friends at these concerts, waiting in line to buy merch. They swap out their Swiftie bracelet, and then they become friends.
No
it's
way.
This whole fucking subculture. I swear to God,
Dude,
I swear to God.
that's cool. I'm
So
not
people
going to
that-
judge that
See?
anymore.
So people are bonding over your comedy and over hardcore. And he wears this shirt. I'm gonna go check him out. They meet another guy. I like that band too. I'm buying his merch. It's fucking
Dude,
beautiful,
you know what?
man.
I can't wait
I'm not gonna diss the Swifties
for
no
me
more.
and Taylor Swift to hang out and be like, we're really bringing people together, Taylor. You and me, the same.
You're making it comfortable for people to come out and be
Yeah.
themselves at your show, though.
Yeah.
People
yeah.
that fucking been through the stuff you've been through,
Yeah.
or you know
yeah,
what I mean.
I like that, man.
Do you see
I like it.
yourself ever getting married?
Man, I would love to, but I've lived alone for so long, and I really don't know if I'm well fit to live with another human being.
Damn,
I would love to
respect
get married and have my wife live in the same apartment building or like down the street. That would be amazing. You know,
That'd be
that would
awesome.
be the best.
That'd be
But
s- yeah.
like living with someone, I know myself and I cherish my alone time too much to have to share that. And I have too many shirts. I don't want to give up all my shirts for, you know.
You have a lot of shirts
Oh,
on.
so many shirts. I don't want to get rid of my, you know, dresser space to someone else for their little outfits.
And I like we talked about last night, everybody talks about how they adopt, they rescue, but nobody's talking about adopting kids. Like,
yeah.
Would you ever adopt a kid?
Man, you know, it's funny because I'm the last Fidance, and if I do not have a child, I kind of like it in a way because I'm like, my bloodline ends with me. When my blood falls into the soil, no flowers will grow with my name upon the stem.
It's kind of
you know?
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Though.
So like,
you have control.
If you know, I don't know. Like you know, I have to be honest, and I love my friends as if they are related to me, and I would do anything for them. And so like I look at my friends as, you know, my brothers and my sisters, and I love them, and I've developed a bonded relationship with them to where they are my family.
Yep.
And I'd like to think that I could do that with a child, but I'm afraid that I would not be able to fully make that connection as if that child was mine. But I would like to think I could live in a world where I could make that, because I think if I were to adopt, I would like to have a child of my own and then adopt, you know, so that they could have like, you know, a brother or sister.
Sure.
But I also don't know if I want kids. I mean, eventually I'd like to, but I'm not around. I'm too selfish with my time.
Not right now, yeah.
I only want to have a child if it's the center of my universe, you know. And also, I don't know if I could ever be the dad that my dad was. He was such an amazing, wonderful man, and I strive to be him every day. But he dedicated his life to me and my mom, and I have too many things going on, and I would never want to settle for anything less. And so I don't want to bring someone into the world if I'm not fully present for them.
Makes sense. It's
and,
nice.
You know, I'd feel pretty guilty if I was, you know, get my dick sucked by two chicks at the same time, and then I got to go home and change a diaper. Get out of here. No thanks, buddy.
At least you're actually smart about that, because some people have kids and just fucking don't even pay attention to them. You know what I mean? And there's people that can't have kids, and it's fucking. Are you still skating? I saw you do a lot of skating with Ellis. It was so fucking awesome.
It was so fun. And then him and Tony Hawk taught me how to drop in on a quarter pipe. It was amazing.
That's right. I remember that, dude. You went down to Hawks.
Bro, it was incredible. Dude, it was like the coolest thing ever. Dude. I got a hug from Tony Hawk. I know. It felt like my dad was alive again. I was like, oh, my God.
that ramp's so huge, man. Right?
Oh, God. Well, I didn't do the big half
No, I know.
pipe.
You stand on the top.
Quarter pipe. Yeah. Crazy.
Just standing up on the top is scary,
Well,
man.
dude, I did it so many times. Kept falling. And then I did it, landed. Everyone lost it. It was amazing. And then they were like, we're going to record an episode, hang out and skate. You can leave, but hang out and skate if you want. I was like, okay. And I wanted to do it again to get another attaboy, to have them be like, I'm so proud of you. And I went to do it again. And, dude, I fell and tore my labrum.
Oh, fuck.
I fucked my shoulder up. And I've skated. Ellis came back to New York like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And me and him skated a little bit.
Yeah.
But my willingness to take risks on the skateboard has completely subsided. Like that was what I loved about it when I was skating, was like just going big and going for the risk, falling, whatever. Yeah. But I'm really afraid of re-injuring my shoulder. And then I got in that car accident in July. So my athleticism has fallen by the wayside ever since then, which sucks. Yeah. You know, because I really, really enjoyed it. And I really loved taking the risk and like dropping in. And, you know, I was going to the skate park in my neighborhood and like just doing like little like fakies and stuff.
Sick.
But then, you know, that injury just really kind of, you know, I'm scared of re-injuring myself.
Yeah. It's not worth it, man.
Yeah.
Plus you have a lot, man. You're like touring a lot. You have a lot of stake.
Yeah. And also like my teeth are so big. If I bust one out, it's going to be pretty obvious. You know, I'm like, you pull off the gold teeth, man, I'd look like a fool, you know? I got too much teeth, too much gum, and too much forehead to make it work, you know?
You have solid teeth, though.
Thank you.
I like you were saying last night, your head looks like a kneecap. That was incredible, man. So all that stuff was new last night.
Yeah, I mean, that's stuff new from the stuff I've been working on recently. Like, that stuff about the CEO and everything, that just happened the other day. So that was, like, new. And, you know, a bunch of that stuff is new that I've been working on. But there were, like, fucking some important people there last night, so I wanted to like really like shine, and so I curtailed
Some
the
Netflix
set
peeps?
to I don't know. But there were
Well, you killed it, dude. You should be very happy about last night. There were people there.
You're really nice, man.
No, I'm just
Thank
saying, you feel good about last night?
I feel great, yeah.
You should, dude.
Yeah.
I know you play the piano, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was
Yeah, I
fucking
can only
awesome.
play the Aladdin song.
That's
it.
fine, though. But, yo, if there were people there to see you last night, bro, that was phenomenal. You should be really fucking stoked.
Thanks,
Is that a goal for you? Is Netflix a goal for you?
Yeah, of course.
Is that like the fucking golden arches of comedy, like to do something on Netflix?
I mean, yeah, Netflix, HBO,
yeah.
Hulu is now doing specials.
Hulu is too.
Like, I mean, honestly, the goal is to be able to create and have someone fund it so that I'm not out of pocket. And it just so happens that these big streaming platforms pay for it, you know? So it's not like I'm not a guy that like wants money to like, you know, I've never cared about cars. I've never cared about watches. You know, like, dude, it's funny. I did Joe Rogan.
I know you with your
with Attell, yeah.
Yeah, he brought you on, right?
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was cool.
Me
I
and
watched
him
that.
had so much fun, man.
Was that? Were you nervous to be on there, or was it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course. We like. It was cool that we had each other, man, because he and I are like best friends, and he's really taking care of me, and like I said, he's become like a father figure, and so like we talked about it beforehand about, you know, like. We were both like, God, I don't even know if I want to do this. The nerves, you know. And it was fun because sometimes jokes go over Rogan's head. Yeah. And, you know, it was great to have a friend there to where I would say a joke, Joe didn't get it, and then Dave would laugh. Dave would say a joke, Joe didn't get it, and I would laugh. And then so like we had each other, which was really nice, you know. And there's an Instagram account called Watches of Joe Rogan or something like that. Joe Rogan, I don't know. But they take every guest and they zoom in on their watch, and then they have a picture of the watch and how expensive it is. And there's like $30,000 watches, $10,000 watches, $25,000 watches. And then I'm on there, and it goes Ian Fidance, Casio, $29.95. And I have the cheapest watch on Joe Rogan. Yeah. And I'm so happy. Like, I've never been like a guy that's like needed a bunch. I just want to make the money to make things that creatively fulfill me and be able to take care of my mother. Like that's all I want. You know?
Where's your mom at? She
in Delaware. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is she?
Like 71.
Okay.
So I like take care of her now, but it would be a lot more helpful if, you know, I could, you know, delineate between like taking care of her and, you know, like taking that money and like making something, you know, like me and a buddy wrote a movie, and it's like it's like in this limbo area because we have everything except we have people attached, we have everything, but it's like, you know, you got to get the financing. Yeah. So, you know, we're out to these financiers, and we're trying, once we get the funding, it's like, boom, we're going, but it's just a matter of, you know, like I was fortunate enough to, you know, Andrew Santino is an amazing comic. He's become a dear friend, but he was in this movie called Ricky Stenicki. Yeah. It was directed by Peter Farrelly, who did Dumb and Dumber. There was something about Mary. Oh, wow. You know, Me, Myself, and Irene. You know, iconic shit. Yeah. And I was fortunate enough to talk to Peter Farrelly after the premiere of this movie, and he was like, you know, this movie took 15 years to make. We wrote it 15 years ago. There were rewrites. We couldn't get anyone attached. We had people attached. They left. This, that, the other. And, you know, not to tell his story, but Santino is so funny. But he, it's inspiring to hear that, like, years ago he met Peter Farrelly and was like, "I'll do anything to be in one of your movies," you know. And then the movie was going to get made. It wasn't. It went away, came back. Santino's, you know, moving forward in his life. And then the kind of papers were rumbling that this movie was going to be made, and they ran into each other, and they were like, "Hey, we want to offer you this role for the movie." And so, like, wow, he got offered the role instead of like having to jump through who, you know. So it's like, you never know what's going to happen. And when I talked to Peter Farrelly, he was like, sometimes you have to take a step back and let the universe work and be okay with whatever the universe is doing. Yeah. And just trust that things will come back around. Absolutely. And when he said that to me, it was happening at a time in my life where I very much needed to hear that. Yeah. And so I really kept that with me. So, like, I'm of the mind of, I'm not going to be I'm a slow burn. I'm building. I'm in this for the long haul. This is my life. This is
Longevity.
my career.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a guy whose clip pops off and then like everything. I'm building and building. The people that come out and see me, it's their 6th, 7th time seeing me. They come see me every year. They're bringing friends, you know, like
totally.
I'm building people. I'm building a fucking army of fucking, you know.
It's like you're in a band.
Misfits and crazy people that are going to rock with me through it all. And it's so cool building. Dude, the best compliment I get is when clubs are like, your crowds are awesome. They tip well. They're nice.
Oh, wow.
They enjoy all my openers. They're not dickheads.
Awesome,
Nobody's being rude. And like, I really feel like a crowd is reflective of the artist.
Yeah.
So I've worked really hard to make sure that my crowds are like good people. And the staffs at these clubs are so important. So the fact that they're good to the staff like means a lot, you know, because I hear these horror stories about some of these comics and their crowds. But I really like, I'm building, and I just have to know that as long as I'm moving forward and trying to do right in my personal life, my professional life, and just like be a fucking person and move forward, the universe will take care of it, and it'll come and go, and it'll happen when it happens, as long as I'm doing the work and I'm ready for when it does. And so hearing that from such an iconic figure in comedy, I'll never forget where I was when I saw There's Something About Mary. I was in the theater at Cinemark Movies 10 in Newport, Delaware. I was sitting with my friend Brian Davalos. Delete the name if you want. I don't know, but dude, I just and the coolest part of that movie was at the end of the credits, you saw the bloopers, and I always loved the bloopers because it showed how much fun being funny is.
Yeah,
you know?
man, it's a great point.
Yeah,
I can see you doing some acting too.
I
man.
love acting, man. I
can see you doing that too and killing it.
Yeah,
I also like seeing like all the older comedians, the old school ones, not old school ones. Like Whitney Cummings embracing you so much, and these other comedians like really loving you and embracing you, and it's really awesome, man.
Thanks, Toby. I appreciate it.
Is there's no gatekeeping really in comedy? Is there? Like you have to prove yourself to the I don't know, the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing of like, you know, like it's like if somebody's doing it a year, you're gonna have different relationships with people than if you've been doing it 10 years.
True.
You know, it's like, you know, you never know who's. You kind of always suss people out, but I feel like comedy is a very thing of like funny is currency. If you're funny, you can navigate the world in an easier way than if you're, you know, but a lot goes into it. It's more than, you know, I always say so much of stand-up and comedy, such a small percentage of it is jokes. You know, there's so much more that goes into it. So much of it is mental, emotional, you know, physical for me because I'm lugging around my, you know, duffel bags of merch and camera.
But also, you have a lot of energy on stage. You're moving on stage. You have a lot of energy on stage.
Well, dude, I've always wanted to be a hardcore singer.
Yeah, you got that by your pacing and shit.
Yeah. When I'm on stage, I want to be like HR and do a fucking backflip, you know?
You are kind of pacing like when you're about to give a speech before the next song.
Yeah.
What was your last real job you had?
Oh man, I fixed printers in New York City.
Sick.
Riding my bike around fixing Pitney Bowes mail machines.
Pitney Bowes, I remember Pitney Bowes for some reason. Was that how long ago was that?
Oh man, 2017.
So you've been doing comedy.
2018. I've been doing comedy since 2011.
But I'm saying
like
full time comedy.
Full time since like 2018. Yeah, I cut out of jobs too early. So at the same time, I was like delivering pizzas.
Yeah.
And doing the Pitney Bowes thing and like hitting open mics and everything. And then like I quit my jobs too early, and I had to go on like food stamps and everything. And like really like struggle for a minute. Damn. I should have kept up with like working.
Jumped down a little bit,
but you know, it's like whatever. It motivated me to get off food stamps. It motivated, you know, it wasn't the first time I was on fucking food stamps. So I was like, hey, I'm back. Hello.
Yeah.
You know,
my name's in the system.
And yeah.
Damn.
I still got my card, you know, but it was a motivating factor to like work harder and get off this, you know.
Yeah.
And I, you know, fortunately, like I got some acting work. And that floated me until for like a while because I got some commercial acting work and all this stuff. And that floated me for a while, which was great.
Yeah.
And then I slowly started getting like, you know, one nights where I'd have to like take an 11-hour bus to Vermont and like all this crazy shit. Damn. And then once I got into the cellar, that was when everything changed because that's also when like, I started emceeing there, and the MCs make higher pay than regular sets, and so I was emceeing there like every night, multiple times a night, and then that's when Attell saw me and asked me to open for him, and then it went well, and then he asked me to open for him again, and then that started becoming. I mean, he and the Cellar kept me alive and fed
incredible
for a very long time, and then the pandemic hit. Right before the pandemic hit, I was like, dude, I'm thinking things are great, man. I'm the best. And then it was like, oh, no. And everything lost everything.
You in New York during that time, too. That was crazy,
yeah, I
man.
didn't leave.
So what did you do? What were you doing? Just chilling?
I mean, yeah.
You couldn't work.
Best shape of my life.
Okay. You were riding your bike a lot,
I was
too.
riding like over 100 miles
That's right.
a week on my bike. And like, I got to say the pandemic is kind of like really was like a watershed moment for me with stand-up in terms of like, dude, we were doing shows. New York was the first place in the country to start doing stand-up again. So we were doing shows on rooftops, on the street, parking lots, people's apartments out back, like in crazy situations, in parks. And it was a thing of like, I'm not going to just sit. I don't have a microphone. I'm not going to sit and just yell.
Yeah.
None of this matters. I'm going to stomp around and get in people's faces and fucking like carry a little amplifier with a microphone and walk up to people.
Awesome.
I'm going to like, a train's going by. Yeah, I'm going to fucking yell at that thing instead of staying with my act. And that kind of like, and when I was doing the Zoom shows, I was, going on these rants because I'm like, what am I going to be like, I was at the bank the other day. And it's like, no, I'm fucking lying. I'm miserable. I want to blow my fucking head off.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep it in anymore. And so that kind of helped me to like be like, oh, dude, you don't have to be a sit still talk guy. You can stomp around. If you want to sing, sing. If you want to, scream, scream.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're going to scream, scream with me.
You think comedy's been therapeutic for you and through all your stuff you've been through? It's kind of like a lifesaver for you doing comedy?
Yeah.
Do you go to therapy still?
I mean, yeah, I when people go comedy is my therapy, I feel like my eyes are going to roll out the back of my head,
Well, music can be for people like lyrically and all that
for
shit.
For sure. But I feel like there's a difference between like just dumping and like dumping and making, it's like
great point.
I very much process things through the lens of my performance, so like, dude, honestly, when shit pops off in my life, one of my first instincts is like, I got to get on stage, and I will take that time not to just complain and be like, boo hoo hoo, but to turn that thing that is affecting me emotionally into something funny.
Yes.
And I really try to then process things through that. And so that has been therapeutic, but it took me so many years to get there.
Okay.
For so many years, the only thing I cared about was funny. I still care about nothing but funny now.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to a way to where I can make anything funny.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, if I tried to make a point, if I tried to process something on stage, it wasn't funny because I didn't have the tools or the confidence or the presence of mind or the nerves to do it. So I had to sharpen all those other skills. So now, like, when something goes on, it's like, fuck, I got to get on stage and, work this out.
Yeah.
And then that can then turn into a bit. But sometimes people are like, comedy is my therapy. And it's like, ugh, well, I'm fucking staying away from your fucking therapy session.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just go up and complain and there's no fucking joke.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, it's like, dude, the thing about comedy is you're seeing this in real time to where, like, if you see one person and they bomb, they could be a perennial bomb artist, they could be terrible, or they could be working it out, and you're just seeing the process. So you never really know. So I try not to judge, but sometimes you can tell, like, if someone's seasoned or not, or like if, but usually when people are like, comedy is my therapy, I'm like, ugh, get away from me.
Well, I think about like talking to a stranger in the office, or you going on stage and talking to a whole audience full of strangers. It's people that don't know you. They might think they know you, but you can go out there and just not vent. You could you could flip something, make it funny, but it's something really traumatic maybe that you're making into a joke. Do you know what I'm saying? So kind of, you can get it out there and say it out loud in front of a bunch of people, or go talk to a therapist about it. Either way, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think therapy is important in tandem with whatever you're doing, so that it can be like kind of a guiding light towards changing the patterns of behavior that you're seeing yourself enacting, like I think, whether it's therapy or AA or, some sort of, any sort of self-reflection is good as long as it's not self-obsessive reflection.
Yeah.
And I need to be told what I'm doing wrong, or like, even just like bouncing things off of people of like, oh, this is going on. Someone's like, oh yeah, what about? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even fucking think of that, And so like, I can be really hard on myself, and my biggest critic is myself.
For sure.
And so I think, I think I need to be reminded, and I think therapy does that, of, the difference between, I have a hard time finding compassion for myself. And I feel like I'm benefit of the doubt guy, like with everyone. I'm like, oh man, well, they came up this way, and like, well, they're going through that.
You see the good in people.
I try to, but then with me, I'm like, no, that's an excuse, you fucking piece of shit. Fucking show up, you fucking loser. You know?
You're really harsh on yourself, man.
Yeah, and for better or worse, it
You've always
fuels
been like
me.
that.
And yeah, I've always kind of had like a hard time with that, but I'm learning, and I'm trying, and like it's a thing that never ends, which is, you can look at it like, oh God, this never ends, or oh wow, it never ends. There's something always to work on.
True.
There's something to always look forward to, and that's I'd rather look at things that way than the doom and gloom of it, even though I can really fall into doom and gloom sometimes. But it's like when you get into doom and gloom, it's like, keep it to yourself, man. The world is such a shitty place. Nobody wants your bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, have a small circle of friends.
True.
Whatever. Like, have
you
a
could vent to
people.
and talk to.
Yeah, but then like keep it moving.
I'm so glad you're not on cocaine. I think I would never want to see you on cocaine, man.
Oh,
I'm so happy.
Are you kidding me?
Because I know you're on caffeine alone. That's fucking.
If I was on coke right now, I'd be badgering you to put on a song from like the 80s, and I'd be like, play the This Is the Day, please, Toby, do it. Also, I want to make a pizza shop laundromat. You've got some money, come on, let's do it, man. I just need a little bit of cash. Hey, I know a guy down the street. I'm just gonna go for a cigarette.
Just like
Can I sell your dog for an 8-bag?
Just like on stage, that sounds like, yo, how many coffees do you have a day?
I'll have one now.
It's just straight black ice.
Yeah. With a shot of espresso. And later tonight.
Did you eat yet today? It's 2:30. Did you eat any food yet?
No.
How many cigarettes you smoke a day, I think?
Oh, man.
A pack?
Doing a pack and a half. Pack and a half and two.
You ever quit smoking before?
I quit for like 20 days during the pandemic. And then I saw something that I don't even know is true that was like, cigarettes help stave off COVID. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And I also saw a thing that was like, boogers have good enzymes. And I was like, I guess I'll eat my boogers to stay safe. So I was kind of, I'm susceptible.
It was crazy
to a lot
during
of
that time, though. When the shit first came out, like, people with tattoos can't get it. It was so much shit back then,
it was nuts.
That's
nuts.
Crazy. So coffee and cigarettes, that's your thing. That's it.
Yeah.
And you've been sober for how long?
Coming up on 10 years.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
You still going to meetings? It's still like...
Yeah. Dude, matter of fact...
Every day's a new day.
A buddy of mine just got sober. He's a month today.
Nice.
And I'm so happy for him. And it's so funny, man, because I go to meetings because it's not... Like, I'm not going to drink, but I'll go from a drinking, man. I go from a thinking, because I'm fucking nuts up here. And I'm so grateful that there's a place I can go that gives me a guideline for a way to live. And my buddy, I saw him like 2 weeks ago, and out of nowhere, he's like, dude, I'm not drinking. I'm going to meetings. And it came, I don't know where the fuck it came from, Toby. I hadn't been to a meeting in forever. And I go, yo, if you go to a meeting tomorrow, I'll go. And when I said it, it was almost like I was about to say Beetlejuice for the third time. I slammed my hand on my mouth. I was like, what am I doing? I don't want to go to a freaking meeting. And so I went.
That's nice,
first time in forever, and I saw this kid that I helped get sober, and I was like, whoa. And that kind of made me feel good. And then the next week, and me and my buddy, we've been talking on the phone. He's new. I'm coming up on 10 years, and I felt a ton of shame because I've stayed away. I got my ball and I took it, and I'm not giving it back for people to play, and that's not fair, and all the things I've worked for are coming true. And honestly, man, I haven't been happy for a while. I haven't been able to enjoy, and man, I'm telling you, I just started plugging in and talking to a bunch of sober guys, and I feel like I'm like you know, and then I went to a meeting in the morning, and I met these guys, and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to go home. What are you doing? They're like, going to a meeting. You want to go? And I was like, no, which means yes, I should. And I went, and then I got a sponsor, and like,
Oh, that's cool,
it's
man.
wild because, like, you know, I feel a lot of shame that I'm coming up on 10 years and I'm like almost like new again, but I know a bunch of stuff that I have the experience of it, and thank God I didn't drink on the in-between, but I was far away from, you know, what helped keep me on the level for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm really enjoying kind of getting back to the basics, you know, to quote, you know, Rick to life, coming correct, 25 to life, back to basics, you know, drugs destroy dreams.
The first time being quoted on this podcast.
And yeah, my bad. No, don't mean
it's all good.
step on toes out there. Sorry. Or Doc Martens. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm a conscientious observer.
It's all good.
But so yeah, getting back to the basics of like what helped me build. And it's cool, man. And you know, I was just talking to my buddy on the phone. He's got 30 days a day, and that's so inspiring.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And like, dude, sober people come out to shows, you know, like in Denver, the Sober House came out, and this guy had like 28 days, and I, you know, brought him on stage and gave him a shirt to be like, yo, dude, you can still have fun sober. Like, this is what it's about. It's
fucking beautiful,
you know?
man. Yeah.
It's like, it's cool. And it's like, man, he might drink again because the biggest gift he got so far is one of my shirts. So it's like, buddy, I'm telling you, it gets better than this. All right.
No, you're an inspiration for people, man. Whether you believe it or not, you probably get in your head a lot about like, I could be doing better, or I ain't shit. You feel like you're in a good place in your life right now?
I do right now, today, you know, December 9th. Yeah, I do. You know, I'm in LA. The sun is shining. I'm going to be 40 at the end of the month, God willing, if
people
I make
love
it.
you. You're healthy.
I got Stella next to me. I got a full pack of smokes. I got Tobes in front of me. You know, I got my coffee. What more do I want? You know, I got Metallica on my stereo. Life is good.
So it's day to day for you. How you feeling each day? Yeah.
Buddy, sometimes it's minute to minute. Sometimes it's,
dude, you can always call me and text me, though, dude.
You're the best.
No,
man.
for real, though.
Because
I care about my friends. I care about you.
Of course. I mean, it's a thing of like, you know, I feel like it's that way for a lot of people, you know.
I know.
A lot of it's day to day. A lot of it's, you know, and that's all we have. We have the fucking day. If I future trip about, dude, because I can't think past my, you know, like I'm on the road every week until April, which is amazing. God bless. But if I start to think about, oh my God, I don't have anything in June. Oh, what about August? Oh my God, blah, 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 I'm going to spin out.
Spiral,
So it's like, I just got to concentrate on what I can control, that little circle around me, and just trust, like I said, back to the universe, that things will fall into play. And if they don't, dude, you know what I've been trying to do is not ask and pray and hope and wish for outcomes, but to ask, hope, pray, and wish for the acceptance of whatever the outcome may be. And that's been like a huge sea change shift with me of like, dude, whatever it may be, just help me to accept yes, accept no, you know?
I love that, man.
Yeah.
There's a power in that too. Did you read a lot? You reading books?
Yeah, but I suck at it.
Me too. I have to go read twice. I read twice.
Bro, I got to read twice. I read a paragraph and I'm like, I wonder what butt is going to pop up on my Instagram. You know, like I'm just
that's
like
the distraction shit, man.
But dude, I'm reading this biography of the Misfits right now.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, this music leaves stains.
So that's something you love. Yeah, so you actually pay attention to it.
Yeah. So like I read the Pete Rose biography.
Oh shit.
I read I'm reading this Misfits. So I can't read fiction to save my life. Like I can read the things they carry in like fucking old fiction that I've read before, but like my brain is cooked from the phone and the internet. So I try, you know, like I get a lot of reading done on like flights and shit, you know, or like what I've been really trying to do is at night when I go home, instead of turning the TV on, I'll like lay down with the cat on my lap and read. And it's real fucking cute, man, because Glenn, he'll be on my lap and I'll be reading and then he'll dive and pop his head between me and the book. And I'm like, oh,
that's an attention. So
I love
cute.
You.
But dude, falling asleep.
I want to gay marry my cat. That's when I'll get married, when I can gay marry my cats.
Yo, falling asleep with a book is like the best way to fall asleep, I think, man.
Dude, it
It's
is.
So
it is.
Did you ever usually have your phone in your bed with you at night?
Yeah, I mean,
it's
dude,
so bad.
sometimes
The screen in the dark.
sometimes at night I fall asleep when my phone dies. I'm like, time to go to bed.
Bad.
But when I was little, I used to stack books around my bed like a fence and be in the middle of my bed with a bunch of books.
Bring that back, dude.
But I'm so ADHD that I would read a little bit of one, put it down, read a little bit of another one, put it down, and then I'd play musical chairs with books,
Don't you think the phone has a lot to do with anxiety and depression? Don't you think?
Totally. It's no coincidence that we're
so bad for us, man.
We've never been living in a better time to be alive when we've been more unappreciative, anxious, and depressed about it,
Interesting.
And it's all because of this. It's fucking terrible. And I'm getting kind of itchy that I haven't been on it in an hour. All right?
That's bad, but it's so bad though.
It's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
And
we
can say how bad it is, but we're still gonna be on it.
Dude, it's so funny. People get so like I don't know if you noticed at the airport, but some people are like, I don't want to do facial recognition. I don't want to go through the X-ray. And it's like, what? And they're like, they're getting my information.
They got your shit, bro.
Dude, this guy yesterday was like, why do you have to do the facial recognition? I don't want to. I do not consent to getting my picture taken. And then we're in line. He goes, have they always had to take pictures? I go, buddy, your shit's been bought and sold since you got an iPhone. He goes,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And, they do take pictures of us everywhere the second we enter the airport. And I go, yeah. And that's when I go, yeah, I know. That's why it's wild that this guy that killed the CEO has gotten away for so long, That motherfucker was smart. And the guy goes, uh-huh. And then he just turned around. I was like, I finally figured out how to get strangers to stop talking to me.
They never caught the guy, did they? They never caught me. I don't think. You can look at your phone and see. They catch him?
I read something this morning that they caught a guy using a fake ID in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Which is like, dude, what a Robert Durst moment. You remember Robert Durst when he got caught stealing a sandwich?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, dude, if this motherfucking hero gets caught fucking for having a fake ID, I'm going to find him and punch him in the head.
I think he took a bus somewhere or something. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here again for part 2.
Bro.
You're going to another podcast now. We're going to do a part 3 more time.
Dude, absolutely.
Because I love hanging and talking to you.
Absolutely.
We can talk about... Okay, give me some...
even the last time I was in town, we just went and got fucking food. It was great,
I know.
Man.
What are some top hardcore bands you listen to right now?
Oh, my God.
Because you're really in the mix, dude.
Yeah.
I love Drug Church. I love High Viz. Oh, my God.
High Viz is great.
Bro.
Drug Church has a new awesome album out.
Yeah, they do.
Haywire, Conservative Military Image. They just put out like a 3-4 song EP. It's great. Angel Dust. Choice to Make out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Wilkes-Barre represent. Wow.
D-Block from Detroit. Suffer No Fools from Detroit.
Damn.
Bad Beat from Detroit.
Damn, you're on the Detroit shit. I like that.
Dude, Detroit is great, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And Exit Strategy from Florida. I'm such a sucker for the, I'm right now it's just Trapped Under Ice,
Best.
King 9.
Fuck with Speed too.
Speed's good, man.
It's hard, dude.
Yeah.
He's got an award on TV out there, like some music awards. They're playing Coachella with Gel.
Yeah.
Like hardcore's thriving. It's just so beautiful to see that shit right now.
And I'm driving up and down Melrose Speed and listening to Warzone, man.
You were?
Yeah.
Dude, I got Lukey from Warzone on the podcast Friday. I'm excited.
No way.
Because Gorilla Biscuit's playing this weekend, so they're in town.
Man, I can't wait to see Wisdom in Chains again, too.
A new singer.
With Frankie,
Yeah, shout out to Frankie. That's crazy.
Yep.
I saw footage they played a couple nights ago. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude, man.
That was a big-ass show,
that
bro.
That Reverb Fest down in Reading was awesome, man. I'm missing For the Children this week.
I'll be there for that.
Dude, seeing Luis, I'm fucking jamming at Alpha and Omega. Like last night on the way to the gig. Yeah, happy birthday. That was so cool. We came out, brought a bunch of guys, man. We all hung out at the diner.
I know.
It was so fun.
You guys went to Swingers last night?
Yeah. And
I could see you living out here someday, maybe.
I like it out here, man.
You're very East Coast, though.
I am, but I think it's.
I couldn't see you driving. You might be too spazzy to drive, bro.
Fuck you, spazzy. Come on. I know, right?
You're so fast.
Cigarette hanging out of my mouth. Nishinga, motherfucker.
I would say like some old ass 50s like convertible or something.
Well, dude, I'm like, I think my New York stress and shit is to my advantage out here.
Yeah, because you have an edge over people when you're from the East Coast. 100%.
Dude, last time I was here, this little Cholette girl, because you're
Chola.
Chola, yes, this little Chola. This little Chola, she yelled at me because I'm pulling up trying to make a left, and your stupid streets have a stop sign, but you got a million cars parked, so you got to pull out into the walkway in order to see if cars are coming or not. And she's like, the car's in the walkway, stupid. And I was like, yo, I'm trying to pull out. I can't see. And she was like, fuck you. Suck a dick. And then I go, where do you think I'm going? And she goes, what? I was like, hey, andale.
Like you said last night too, but like if there's some crime going on or something, you just, I forget what you said, but something like just putting your ass there, like, you want to fuck me instead, like trying to break up shit and like, diverting the situation with
instead
like
of using violence to break up violence, you try to fuck someone.
People, dude. I can't wait. So so this is just your tour stuff you're doing live. This could be a special someday, right? The stuff you're working on, it could be.
Yeah. So I'm on the road every weekend till April, and you can get tickets at ianfidance.com.
Yes.
Find out sign up for my mailing list. You'll get notified when I'm in your town. You can request me to come to your town. It's a good aggregate to get me to different places. It's punchup.live/ianfidance.
You book it yourself, or you have a booking agent?
I have an agent.
Okay.
And it's been hard to relinquish control because I've been doing everything on my own for so long.
Me too, because you're so hands-on. It's your baby. It's your livelihood. Mm-hmm. And if somebody tries to get in the mix, you're like, it's so hard. We went through so many managers because of that, dude.
Like I said, man,
you gotta let go, dude. At some point.
My manager that I've known for a while, God bless him, he loved me enough to go, yo, dickhead, take a step back. Trust me.
Let me do my job.
Yeah, and
it's hard, dude.
Once I allowed, things have been, and it's good, and I'm glad I have people in my life that call me on my shit about it,
Yeah.
And the podcast is Being Ian with Jordan, out every Wednesday on YouTube, youtube.com/beingianpod, patreon.com/beingianpod. Bonus episodes of me and Jordan every week.
Come on there someday. Can I come on someday?
Bro,
I'd love to.
Whenever the fuck you want.
Next year.
Are you kidding me? Yes.
When I announced right now, the H Tour is doing a full year tour at the Bouncing Souls.
Shut the fuck up.
From April to December. I'm announcing it now because this ain't coming out. It'll be announced by that time. We're doing 4 legs of the whole entire country together.
Shut the fuck up. 6. Are you serious?
Yeah, next year.
Dude, I started getting tattooed at New York Adorn because they shouted out New York Adorn on their live album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They're here right now. They just played it 3 nights.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So H Tour Bouncing Souls 2025.
Holy shit.
I'm really excited,
Oh,
bro.
dude. I'm so
cool
happy
package,
for you
right?
guys.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
I'm happy, too. I've never had like a whole year plan like that.
Dude.
And with 30 years as a band.
The Bouncing Souls?
I know.
Oh, that's great.
It's cool, right?
Oh, Lamar Vanoy.
If you're excited, I'm hoping kids would be excited about that package.
Yes.
I think it's cool. We haven't done something since like back in the Punkorama days.
Holy shit.
Right?
Dude, that's great. Congrats, man. That'll be so fun.
It'll be fun. I love those kids.
Yeah, and you guys are so inspiring too, man. Just seeing like how long you've been around and the ability to keep going and to build and get stoked. Like the excitement on your face is still the same you had years ago. And like,
thank you, man.
You mentioned like inspiring, like it's, I mean, I told you, I don't know if I told you, but I got in a fight with my, with a guitar player in my ska band when I was in high school. We were going to record. We got in an argument about whose lyrics are better, Jesse Michaels or Toby Morse. And I was like, "Oh, One Life to Live is an amazing song. Fuck you."
Oh yeah, they might be coming back. I heard,
dude. That would be the Operation Ivy is the.
Did you
one
see them
band
playing the
I
songs
would do
and stuff?
Anything to see. I would drop everything.
I heard it could happen. You heard some things. Yeah.
That would be the most incredible fucking thing. I would be there in a fucking heartbeat.
It was cool seeing them perform, right? Recently when they did this.
It was the coolest, man. They're in the suits. They're fucking playing. What happened to Bad Optics? They put something out together. I remember I was on a plane. I paid for the Wi-Fi so I could listen to it. Because it popped up like someone sent it to me and we were about to take off. And I was like, I gotta hear it right now.
Dude, that'd be so huge if that happens, man.
Oh, my God.
I would die. You need to sing in the band. I think they should be next on your list, though, for sure.
Totally. I want to so bad.
You have so much support from like the hardcore community, and people know you love music, and it inspires you. I feel like I think you'd have a lot of good energy on stage with this fucking cough. Dude, you'd be going off, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's just a matter of my lungs can take it, man. I'd have an aneurysm.
How's your car? You ride your bike. How's your cardio?
I ride my bike, but man, my pit moves last 30 seconds. Not even. I'm two-step. It's
like one arm up and then that's
it. Dude, I do one spin kick and I'm like, I need a water, I stage dive. I do a front flip, and I'm like, I have my back.
But the thing about it is you don't want to fix that.
No, I don't want to stop.
Is vaping worse, right? You said vaping is. I saw you talk about last night.
Oh yeah, fuck vaping.
And it's way more addicting or way more bad.
It's way more addicting.
Yeah.
We don't know the long-term consequences.
I love how you said you have to go outside and smoke and not fucking smoke
in the elements like God intended.
So you don't see yourself ever quitting smoking. You're not worried about any of the effects of cigarettes.
Man, that shit ain't real.
Okay. If you had to quit coffee or cigarettes, what would it be?
Coffee.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's such a good combo. It's a classic combo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Cup of 8 o'clock
in
the morning, sipping cup of black coffee, wondering if you made it home all right. Edna's Goldfish.
I wouldn't know that. I'm sorry.
My bad.
I want to show you my haircut live on the podcast, okay?
All right.
What
the fuck?
I just tattooed my head.
Dude. Wow, we finally have the same hairline.
That's what I'm
Look
saying,
at you.
bro.
Holy shit. That must have hurt so fucking bad.
It was the worst pain in my life. My eyes were pouring water. I had my hands in my eye sockets.
Oh, God.
It was pouring blood.
Is the rest of your head done? You got the man ball
Yeah, I'm all done.
right?
My whole head's done now.
Oh, my God.
But this is still swollen, and it was bleeding so bad. I had a rough weekend, a headache for 2 days. But
when did you get it done?
Friday.
Holy shit, dude.
Killed it, though. Tim Hendricks, incredible. Black and gray.
God damn.
It's gnarly up there, like, because everything's being pushed.
Yeah.
And then when they were shading, it was like stabbing my
Dude,
fucking head.
I got my elbow ditch done at R&D Tattoo in Ridgewood, Queens, and I got my Glen there.
Ridgewood, Queens.
And I'm like, oh, I'm so tough. I got a top of a spade on the ditch of my
The
forearm.
ditch sucks, dude.
And you're like, yeah, I got my head done, bitch. Holy shit.
Yeah, you want to get the back? You want to get you said Misfits and Gorilla Biscuits?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the Misfits on
And
my
the
right
ditch.
knee ditch and the Gorilla Biscuits gorilla on my left knee ditch.
I got Suicidal in my left ditch.
Yeah?
I got GB on my knee.
God damn.
From Civ a long time ago. But yeah, those are great.
I'd love to get tattooed by Civ, man.
It could happen.
Well,
It's
I'm
totally
a
happened,
pussy.
dude.
You know why I want those logos? Because there's a lot of negative space on my ditch. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So
It'd be
I'm
easy.
like, oh, okay. It's mostly, outline and a little bit of shading.
Yeah, be easy. Yeah, my Suicidal skull, it's an outline too.
God.
I got a Wu-Tang in my armpit, and that was outline too. Armpit sucks.
Dude.
Would you ever do your hands or your neck?
No.
Why?
I have a little smiley face right
yeah.
here. It looks like a prison tab. Me and my cousins got
It's
it.
hard.
There's
There's no such thing as job stoppers anymore.
I was
though.
gonna get, well, especially when you're your own boss.
Yeah, you are.
I was gonna get Elvis and Jimmy on the inside of my fingers.
That's kind of hard, dude.
Yeah.
That's
and I was gonna
cool.
get Diddy and R. Kelly on my other.
Good luck with that one.
That's a job stopper.
And Jay-Z on there. I don't know.
Oh, dude, that new fucking thing.
Yeah, but
Jesus
his
Christ.
response was so hard
Yeah.
and so to the point. If you read it about it was just so like the last thing he said is like, I can't wait till you meet the real me or something like that. He's like, how dare you say that? I have children. I came from this. I grew up in this neighborhood. This is such bull.
Oh,
it's
wow.
so absurd, dude.
Yeah.
I get like the cheating thing because that happened and they made up and wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
But I feel like Diddy's gonna take down. I think it's just the iceberg, bro. I think shit's gonna get crazy.
Oh,
dude.
Diddy, the Black Epstein.
Bro, he's there in the same jail.
Yeah.
He's in the same jail as homeboy.
Really?
Same
Holy
jail in
shit.
Queens, wherever it's at.
Crazy.
What's gonna happen? Is he gonna make it out of the jail? I don't know, man. I don't think so, man.
I don't know.
It's really fucking wild, dude.
I don't fucking know.
It's a wild time.
I don't know. I'm just trying to sell tickets.
I know.
I'm just trying to get
Yo,
people.
Cat Williams.
Dude, the Oracle.
Beginning of this year,
Yeah.
did that 5-hour podcast.
Yeah.
People say it was conspiracy. I was like, yo, Diddy, blah, blah, blah. 2024, people going down. He fucking said it. Went viral.
Yeah.
And people talk so much shit about that dude. So he knows. He's in the know. He knew something, dude.
I mean, what? We got 21 days left of the year. What else is going to happen?
You know what I'm talking about, though? He tried to say he was crazy.
Yeah.
He said all these people's fucking names, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to get you Ellis's. But, dude, please come back for part 3.
You're
I
the
fucking
man, bro.
love you. I
I
love
love
talking
you.
to you. I feel like
Thank
I'm on
you.
caffeine when I'm with you. I didn't drink caffeine anymore, but you give me fucking life and energy.
Thank you, man.
Oh, you must shit a lot, too. But regular shits, too, because that's like yeah. We'll talk about that later, right? Modi May D. Liquid Death just dropped a diaper. You see the diaper they just dropped?
Shut the fuck
It's
up.
a leather Liquid Death diaper for people that go to concerts and they can't wait in line to take a piss or shit.
I do not agree with that. That is insane. If you're putting on a diaper to fucking leave the house, stay in the house and set yourself on fire. That's insane.
I can't wait to wear diapers when we're older, though.
Dude, I would
I'm
love
so
to live in
down.
an old folks home with a bunch of my friends. That would be cool. That would be
What,
sick.
just playing board games and shit all day?
Yeah,
Just
dude,
hanging-
just hanging out, everyone together, like you're living in the same place. That'd be the best.
It's like a clubhouse. It's like a clubhouse, yeah.
Dude, but I talked to my mom about an old folks home. She's like, Ian, no, I'm not doing that. The second I think I'm going to go, I already have it in my will. I'm taking a bottle of pills and you're killing the dogs so that they don't have to live without me. And I'm like, Mom,
damn.
I understand you going, but there's got to be something about the dogs. We got to be able to save these pets.
Shout out to your mom.
Shout out, Gail. I love you, Gail.
That's sweet. You're taking care of her, man. You're a good son.
I try.
You're a good human, dude. Whether you think
man.
so or not, you're inspiring people. You're making people laugh. The whole entire crowd last night, and you're doing shit good for humanity. And I know you had some shit growing up. You can listen to that first episode, 226. He talks about everything there. But I know you go through your own demon, you have your own demons. But just so you know that you have friends who care about you.
Oh, thank you, bro.
I'm giving you flowers here, bro.
Oh, man.
We'll hug
thank
after
you
this.
for the bouquet. I appreciate it. I'd rather have a bouquet than a bukkake. So thank you. Thank you, Toby.
All right. Thanks for being here, Ian.
Thank you.
Peace, everybody. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years. And my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people, and I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH2O and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryo-technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over a 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH2O and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to. They help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call.